Hey everyone, I'm Shane Reinhardt, owner of Reinhardt's Four Seasons, and I'm here to show you how I took my business from a push mower to what it is today. Welcome everyone to the next episode in our YouTube series. Today we're going to talk a little bit about choosing the right dealership to either start or grow your contracting service with, and whether that is landscaping, lawn care, concrete, could be anyone that really needs equipment in any industry. A little bit about choosing the right dealer. So what I decided to do is reach out to the dealership that I work with, pretty much on a daily basis throughout the season, and set up with Wes here from Kimps Power Center to do this video for you. So this is Wes from Kimps Power Center in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Wes, if you would, I guess, tell us a little bit about how Kimps Power got started and where you guys are at.
Yeah, so we're a fourth generation business. So I'm the fourth in this business, and we started in the 1940s. And back then, we used to get all of our orders on a rail truck, and it was delivered to the post office. Which is very kind of cool and neat. We used to pick it up, bring it back. We sold anywhere things from boat motors to campers. I think at one time we even sold some wash machines. So kind of just went every which way. And we used to have an LP route. And now we're a power center and a relatively big Ace Hardware, along with a fairly decent sized rental house, so that's something of great value.
Yeah, that's a big part of one of the things I liked when I first stepped foot in here, 10 years ago or whatever, was that there wasn't just the power center. You guys had, this is kind of a one-stop shop for me. Yep. Most times I'm here, I can knock out a bunch of items that I need in one stop without having to run to 6 different places to get things. So that's who Wes and the Kimps Power family is here. I guess we'll dive right in. So the purpose of this video is, again, to just talk about the importance of the relationship that not just Wes and I, but you have with a bunch of people, being that we chose a dealer. So I guess let's just get started with Wes. For you obviously have a lot of customers. What makes or breaks the customer experience for you? Obviously, there's really good customers out there and there's not so good customers. So can you explain a little bit what tips the scale one way or the other there?
Well, so the one thing about the OPE or outdoor power industry would be that not everyone loves to cut lawn. So sometimes we get the bad. And it's not that they're a bad customer. It's just that they tend to be angry. And they're frustrated with something not working because we're on the service side of things. When we look at the power sports industry, which is four-wheelers, snowmobiles, anything fun, generally they're not mad that things break because they usually broke them, doing things the wrong way. But in our industry, we're here to try to mitigate or help people with their lawnmowers and any kind of outdoor power industry kind of things. Onto that scale, there is good and there's bad. You just take everyone the same way. You treat everyone the same possible way that you could. The good and bad, if you bring me the right information in, model, serial number, because a lot of times I don't know what you have.
How often do you get, of 1,000 people that walk in here to get something fixed, how many people actually have the serial number, make, and model of their piece of equipment, would you say?
I think it's getting better. I would say it's less than 70% have their numbers.
So point tough. One to being a good customer, whether it's a commercial person or just John Smith walking in, is to have the right information for the equipment. Yeah. I mean, I know you know a lot about a lot of things, and you could probably figure a lot of things out based on what they tell you, but if it wasn't you, without a number.
It's hard because, I can work magic and I can figure stuff out because I've been in this business a long time. But there are certain things about that scare me. So if I sold Shane a belt and that belt was wrong and it caused harm to either his mower or someone that he has on the job site, or even, let's say it just as simple as a lawnmower blade. I gave him the wrong blade and that thing came off, I could be in a lot of trouble. So that's why it's so important for us to have that information up front.
Sure.
And I think that's something that people forget, that if I don't have that, it's an unsafe procedure for me.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. I've been in here, obviously, multiple times every week throughout the entire summer, and I get behind those people in line that I hear like, oh, I don't have my serial number. And you can see, I mean, the guys at the desk, they do their best to like hide their frustration, so to speak, but you can just see that like they're kind of helpless. And now that person's just waited in line for 20 minutes because you guys might be in a busy part of the day.
Yep.
And they really can't help them, which then continues to aggravate them.
Yeah, I think is in a commercial sense, whenever I try to do the retail part of this business, we have to look at all aspects of that. And unfortunately, if the customer's frustrated, we're coming in and we get frustrated. Now that just makes the situation even worse.
Right.
So we try to keep an even keel on it, and we do the best we can.
Right, and that's really all anybody could ask. So is there anything else on your end that sticks out as far as, talking to potential customers, whether they come to you or they're going to somebody else, because this is all going to come around for full circle, that you could recommend to somebody who's about to be a customer? In general, I guess it doesn't even have to be in this industry, but is there anything else that you can think of?
In our business, it's we have 136 employees as of today, between 2 stores and an automotive store too. So we have a lot of employees, but the ones that we do have are spot on. They know exactly what they're doing. Our mechanics are, I believe, to be the best in the industry. I'm a little prejudiced, but then again, we do things that kind of work miracles, and or the service end. The guys at the counter, they really know their things, so that's good.
I would agree. And again, we've been together for about 10 years now.
Yep.
So, I mean, what's really nice too about you guys, and I'll get into this a little bit more, is that you do have some very talented individuals on your team. And sometimes I might just be in a pickle where it's a simple fix, and I know it's a simple fix because of the symptoms I'm getting, but I just don't know what to do. And I mean, how many times do I call you or talk to Dan and back and say, hey, this is what it's doing, I think it's this, and you say, yep, you're right, or no, you're wrong, but just do this, cycle the key or push this button 6 times and boom, fired up, cool. I didn't have to waste their time coming in. I didn't have to waste my time coming in, and everyone's happy. Like, you guys can continue on with your day, and you don't have to add another mower to the fleet, and I don't have to do the same. I don't have to add take a mower from our fleet. So cool. So that's kind of what makes a good customer versus a bad customer on your side of things.
Yep. And the main thing is in a customer standpoint, just make sure that you realize that we're here to help and not make you angry. So I think people forget that sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I guess so now we kind of know that side of things. I'll get into the side of things because I chose you guys for a certain reason. I didn't know all of the reasons when I did that, but over the course of time, I figured out that I made a really good choice with you guys, and that's why, or what makes or breaks my experience as a contractor or as a customer when picking a dealer. And some of the bigger things that stick out are, for one, transparency, and that goes with so many different things, not even just dealerships, but a lot of relationships. Just being transparent and knowing, hey, Shane, I call Wes and I say, hey, got a mower down, and he doesn't say, okay, I'll get it. If he can't get it done tomorrow, he doesn't say he'll get it done tomorrow. He'll say, hey, I'm a few days out. You know what? My response is, I get it, and you say to me, I will get it in as soon as I can. I know you'll get it in as soon as you can. Like, we have that trust level there.
Yeah.
So like, that's big for me. And then just the support, man. I mean, you guys literally, you have full engines, you've got pumps, you've got so many things here that it's a matter of, hey Wes, this fell off, and yep, I got it. We'll have it at the front counter for you. I can come in. I'm to an extent handy, and I can do a lot of things myself, but there's certain things I can't. But if I can, there's no sense in wasting or having it sit here if it's just a part I need. And you guys, follow through with that time after time after time again, and like that's just what makes it really a good experience for me is that support. Because without that support, I mean that could really just ruin not just days but weeks. You hear some really horror stories, whether it's small equipment or trucks or trailers. So I also think that as you look at it as a whole from each side, like as a customer, and you probably might agree with this too, is that I also try to be transparent where, hey, you know what, this piece of equipment broke, but if I know I don't need it tomorrow, I'm not going to put that pressure on Wes and his guys, because I know if I said I needed it tomorrow, he would do everything. Like, he would lose sleep, he would lose time from his family to make sure that I'm up and rolling. So I try to not cry wolf time after time again with everything, because there is a time where I got to say to Wes and the guys, like, hey, I need this like yesterday. And most of the time you guys are able to do it. If the only reason that you can't do it is if it's a part thing, really. I know if it's just a labor thing, you guys have it handled for me. But having that like openness where, hey, this broke, but honestly, I've got other stuff on the schedule for the next 4 days. I just need it by Monday. Or, hey, you know what? Like, this is the last thing we got to do before I can do this. I need this as soon as possible. And I'm not faking it or crying wolf to you guys.
Right.
And I think, and I hope that you guys see that too and appreciate that. And I think there's other guys that we both know that kind of are the same way.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, we got a really good group of commercial guys. So, and then out of all of them, I don't think I have anything really bad to say about any of them.
Right.
The main thing is when you go back to transparency, we look at trying to be transparent with the customer, but also on the other end with the consumer, the industry. So whether it be any company that we deal with, we're very transparent with them also. So let's say you were abusing your lawnmower. I can kind of fudge and make numbers and make it look good. However, that doesn't work well with the companies. So then all of a sudden the price of the mower goes up and everything else starts to drive up in the industry. It's not necessarily controlled by warranties, but it can hinder that cost.
Right.
So we're very equal to both sides, and that's a tough game to play because
right.
Sometimes it's like, hey, you never change that air filter or you never change that oil.
Right.
So it makes
$500 later.
Yeah, it makes it harder. So
Well, there's none in it.
Yeah. There's no oil.
Right. So, I mean, we kind of mix the two together there a little bit, but as you're, for lack of the right word, you're a provider to me as a customer, but you're also a customer to the manufacturer.
Yep.
So and the same thing with folks in my position then is, yes, we're a customer, to the power centers out there, but we are also the service provider to our customers. So you really, got to put yourself in both scenarios or both shoes, depending on the scenario, where, okay, as a customer, I'm not going to go to Wes if the place down the road is charging $200 less for, a mower or a trimmer or something, because I know what I'm getting here. That other place down the road might just be the place that they're one-off. They sell it, and they have no further support after that. And you can tell by when you walk into a place, are there parts or backups or anything like that? Like, you walk in this place, like, you guys are seeing a very small glimpse of what Kim's Power Center has to offer, really. And when I came here the first time, I was like, okay, like, we could probably build a mower right now with a lot of the stuff you have out here.
We probably could.
Our own, we'd have our own brand on it.
Yep.
So that's something that I guess is important, where I don't want people, I don't like it when, someone tries to devalue our service by saying, hey, could you do it for any less? Well, I mean, could I? Yeah. Am I? No. Same thing here. Like the reason I don't like to do that is because we offer more than the guy that's probably doing it for less, or we have higher overhead because we're doing the right things. Same for you. You know, that service after the sale is huge. And you know, if you buy, let's just say, a mower for $500 less down the road, great, you save $500. But what happens when you got two guys out on a job site and that mower breaks down and you call that dealer up and they don't answer, and then they don't answer, and you're just that labor is just burning up. That $500 will be gone very soon, and then you might have that piece of equipment for 5-10 years. You're gonna really wish that you chose, you know, the $500 higher mower or machine, whatever it is, for that support. Hey, you know what? We got a demo here that it's not the same brand or whatever, but it cuts grass. Cool.
Yep.
Like that's that.
Sometimes you have to make do with what you get. You know, obviously they're not necessarily going to be the same model or make or you know, of that nature, but it's going to cut grass. You know,
Right.
That's our goal for you guys, is to, you know, make tall grass short.
Right.
You know, so
Right. Hey Wes, I don't care what you got. You got something about 60-inch deck. I don't care what color it is, what it says on it. I just need to get through the week. Yep. Just stop on by. So there you have it. You know, top points really for, you know, someone in Wes's shoes to be someone that Wes wants to work with, or anybody in Wes's shoes wants to work with, is be transparent and understand that they're not here, you know, to bend you over or do anything like that. They're here to help. Realize that you might just be frustrated because it's a hot, humid day. You don't like cutting grass as it is, or maybe it's 30 below zero and you're out blowing snow and something breaks. Well, no crap, it breaks. You're asking it to work in 30 below zero.
Right.
Whatever the case is. So realize that if you start getting a little edgy with the folks behind the counter, that it's not their fault that it necessarily broke. Now, sometimes there's things that happen that shouldn't, you know, manufacturer defaults. But again, like, these guys aren't the manufacturers. They don't build these things in the back.
Right.
And that's few and far between, especially with a lot of the stuff that you guys offer. But just knowing that, all right, like, take a deep breath. Don't lose your cool with these guys, because that's only going to get you frustrated. And then now, you know, now nothing's getting fixed.
Right.
And you're both frustrated.
Yeah, it's a really good point. You know, to kind of recap all that is, you know, we don't necessarily make this product. We do set it up. So, you know, prep or PDI should be done correctly. But if there's something that breaks on it, it's necessarily not our fault. And we're just trying to help.
Yeah.
So.
And I mean, let's face it, we're all humans, and we all make mistakes. So I can imagine if there was an error that was something wrong with the setup, that you would say, hey, you know what? We did goof that up. Like, let's get that fixed up and get you taken care of and back on the road. So be it. And as far as, you know, on our end of things, what we're looking for is, can this dealership support? That's another point I didn't really bring up is, okay, maybe right now that dealership can fulfill my needs of needing one mower. In 5 years from now, when I need 8 mowers, can that dealership provide? Can they grow with me, or is this just a one-off thing? Again, like, I wasn't thinking this stuff at the time, but now looking at it, if I wanted to get to, you know, 10, 20 mowers, like, you guys could do that for me.
Yeah.
You would be right there with me.
Yep.
And, you know, if there was a different dealer that I went to at the time that was one of those one-off folks, like, they wouldn't have been able to. And then I might have started that relationship with you guys 5 years later, which,
Right.
I mean, you just lost time at that point. So.
Yeah, and you know, on his point too, you know, he picked us as a dealership, but I would expect Shane or any business to spot shot for what I'm really worth. You know, so let's say, you know, his lawnmowers that he uses, whether it be brand X or whatever it may be, and I don't sell that trimmer that he wants, I wouldn't expect him to just buy what I have. I would expect him to go and buy what, you know, he feels is the right product for him. So, you know, to that point is I'm not saying to use me for everything. Obviously, I'd love that, and you know, and I'm sure every business would. But it's what works best for the industry and or for what you're trying to do. So it's kind of a little blurb of that.
Yeah. Well, you know what I was actually just thinking about too is I took a break from really being a consistent customer for maybe like 2 years, 3 years, and it wasn't anything that you guys did. I was trying a different brand that you guys carried, and that was really when I think I started to realize, like, dang, like, not that the company or the dealership I was working with wasn't good. They were an hour and a half away, and nothing was convenient. If I
Right.
needed one simple part, it was not convenient. They were nice people and all, but there just wasn't like there wasn't the genuineness that I have when I come in here. I mean, we really are. I mean, our dealer and customer relationship is different than a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh,
it's just fun. I love coming in here. We're always smiling, and even on a bad day if something's gone to hell, like we still end up laughing about
yeah.
something.
Exactly.
So I guess that helps those of you that are looking about which dealer to decide, or maybe you weren't even thinking about that as a scenario that is part of running a business. Is there anything else that you can think of that we didn't really cover? I feel like we really covered a lot of it there.
I think we got the majority. I mean, I think we kind of nailed it.
Yeah. So I guess, for us, I just want to thank Wes and the Kim's Power Center for letting me do this. I think this is just going to be super beneficial for folks down the road. And, if you are a Green Bay local, come by and check these guys out. They have the Power Center, they've got a rental center, and then they've got the Ace Hardware all in one stop. And like I said at the beginning of this video, it is so nice for me to come here to just not have to run all around town. Okay, yeah, does a roll of duct tape cost $1 more here than Menards? Maybe. But at the end of the day, for one, they're running around great, and for two, that extra buck or whatever, it stays like local. It stays here versus Menards, and then the CEO lives in California, whatever. Nothing against Menards.
Yeah.
I shop Menards too, and you know that. So thank you to you guys, and thank you to our audience for tuning in. We're just going to keep pumping this kind of stuff out and trying to give you good, usable content to be able to make decisions and make those decisions a little bit easier, hopefully, or at least with a bit of a more open mind. So that's all for now. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys next time.